She said she wanted to see him one last time to close off their relationship once and for all. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel Arazone Stories. Today we have a story where this husband knew her wife spending the night with her partner, so he decided to catch her. Let's see how this story ended. I know for a fact my wife is right now in bed with her partner at a fancy hotel. It's 11 p.m. where I am. I discovered her affair in January. She then kept denying that the affair continued after I found out, and begs me to give her another chance. I always told her I know she is continuing to see him, but she strenuously denies, and swears she has nothing to do with him anymore. I demanded separation in February, and we signed an amicable separation agreement last week, yet to be validated by the court. But even now she says she loves me, and wants me to give our relationship another chance. I told her I don't believe her sincerity, that she lied to me way too many times, and I can't trust her anymore. Yesterday, she told me she needed to unplug and would go with a female friend of hers at a hotel for one night. I know this is a lie, and that she's doing bedroom activity with her partner at this exact moment. I know which hotel she's staying at, and it's not the one she said she would go to. Question: I am very tempted to head over to the hotel tomorrow morning to have breakfast there, only to see the two of them show up nice and chilled after their morning bedroom activity. Should I see them, and should they see me, I would simply wave at them, smile, and continue sipping my orange juice while going back to reading the morning papers. One serious side of me tells me I'm being childish and should just move on. Another childish side of me thinks that, after all this suffering and agony, I should not deny myself this little coup de theater and enjoy the amusing sight of the deer caught in the headlights. What would you do if you were me? Edit. Prevailing consensus is I should go for it. So be it. I'll head to the hotel in a cab. I first need to drop the kids in school and wish them a good day the way a good dad does. So I won't be able to be at the breakfast table very soon. Hopefully they are not breakfast early birds. But the real question is, will they order room service? All variables considered, I estimate a 40 to 50% probability that I will see them. So yeah, let fate decide how this goes. Well, you now know for sure that your wife is doing bedroom activity with someone else. That only leaves one question. What are you going to do about it? Step 1. Tell your lawyer that the divorce is now certain, and to proceed as fast as possible. Step 2. Blow up her world. Tell your family, her family, and your friends about the affair. When people ask questions, tell the truth. Never cover up for a cheater. If you do, and if there are no consequences for their actions, they never stop. In fact, they just get better at hiding it. If her affair partner is married or has a significant other, tell them. If they are co-workers, advise the HR department of the affair. If you do not get the facts out first, your wife will tell a very different story and will surely make you out to be the bad guy. She may even accuse you of abuse. Do not let this happen. Please understand that this was not your fault. This is all on her. She is the one who lied, cheated, broke her wedding vows, disrespected you, broke your trust, destroyed your family, and stole your happiness. You now need to take care of yourself and your children. That should be your only priority. Yes, I know that this hurts and will get worse before it gets better. However, it will get better. So this morning when I woke up, I wrote that I would head over to the hotel, and I gave myself a 40 to 50% probability that things would pan out as planned. My big question mark was whether they would take room service. I wrote, let fate decide how this goes. Turns out fate played this out in a weird and sort of interesting way. I dropped off the kids at school and managed to reach the hotel at 8:15 a.m. Room pretty much empty, so I chose an ideal spot, with a view on the entrance and table placed right between the two big rooms that comprise all the interior seating. Perfect view of outside seating as well. I brought along a big wide newspaper and plugged a hole in the center so that when the two would show up, I would put the newspaper in front of my face and would still be able to see where they would sit. Took my pain au chocolat, 4 of them, actually a succulent chocolate muffin and a slice of banana cake, orange juice as promised, and cappuccino de rigueur. I truly felt like a cop in a Hollywood movie. First time I ever did this. Checked wife's WhatsApp to see the last seen time. Yes, she's awake. Of course she's awake, dude. They're doing bedroom activity. Just wait patiently. Long story short, I waited 2 hours and 45 minutes. Average heart rate 160. Had to go to the washroom at a certain point, but no way I was going to leave my guard post. At 11 a.m., breakfast time ended and the two didn't show up. What a bummer. Apparently they did opt for room service after all. Not my lucky day, I guess. Or maybe I got it all wrong and she really is with her female friend at that other hotel. Now doubt inevitably starts to creep in. So I go to the washroom, put the carved out newspaper under my arm, and despondently head for the exit, without forgetting to pay the equivalent of $40 for my luxurious breakfast. But wait, I did have a plan B before leaving my house. This morning I picked up wife's passport. So I headed to reception and told the guy that I was asked by Mr. last name her partner to bring him this passport I have here in my hand. Asked him to please look him up. The guy fumbles for some time, asks me her partner's first name, which luckily I know, but still no joy. Just when I was about to tell him maybe it's under another name, and was about to give him my wife's last name, reception guy tells me, "Oh, they're leaving right now, see," and points right behind me. I turn around and lo and behold, there's my wife standing at the exit, just 5 meters from me. She's alone though, and waiting for the valet to bring her car over. She's looking away. I wonder if she saw me. I'm so close, and I was even talking out loud to the receptionist a moment ago. But she keeps looking in another direction. I look at her. I want to vomit. Car arrives. She leaves. I had a grand total of like 2 seconds to decide whether to say hi to her and see her reaction. Her partner wasn't there though. Alas, no coup de theater. I stayed silent. I told myself there's time to tell her later today. Now I was just curious to see her behavior once we both got back home. Just in case you're wondering, when I got home she was all loving and hugging, and told me she thought a lot about the two of us and wants to change her life radically. But I did get the final confirmation I was seeking, that all her promises that she still loves me, that she removed her partner from her life, and that she wants to restart our relationship, were just a big mound of stinking stuff. Wife slept in a room that was under the name of her partner. That's all I needed to know. I came back home, have been way colder than usual. During the past almost 4 months, while we negotiated the amicable separation, we continued to live under the same roof. Didn't tell the kids yet. I guess in the depths of my agony I was still hoping to somehow believe her when she told me she was serious about restarting. I guess deep inside, maybe I was nurturing this crazy fantasy that all this is just a bad dream, and that one day I would wake up, and life would go back to how it was before D-Day, and I could and would love her intensely like I did in those photographs of the past 16 years that Google Photos keeps pinging me day in and day out. Those photos that I devour while I cry alone every night in my bed in the guest room, because I suppose I enjoy suffering. I know, it's stupid, but I'm sure many of you guys know how intense pain clouds perception and sound judgment. I told wife that in 2 days we will go live in separate houses. All has already been pre-regulated in our separation agreement. Either one of us has the right to request this anytime. Tomorrow we inform the kids. A new life begins. The time has come to pull the plug in earnest. The sick tooth has been dangling lifeless in my mouth for a long time, because I was afraid of the pain of pulling it out. Now is the time to extirpate it once and for all. While I was writing this, wife popped in and said she wants to talk. This will be the right moment, I think, to tell her I was standing right behind her this morning. Or maybe I should just tell her nothing, and let her wonder why I took all these big decisions all of a sudden. Not sure, really. I guess I'll just play it by ear. Yes, I know, this is the most stupid possible way of going about it, but I guess I just don't care anymore at this point. Edit, she said. She wanted to see him one last time to close off their relationship once and for all, and that now she is definitively over with him. I told her, you do not close off a relationship with a lover by spending the night together. If you close off a relationship, you meet in a cafe or something and just talk. The level of nonsense I am getting from her is just ridiculous here. I really need to completely stop engaging with her. Separation is done already, under the laws of my country. Once the court validates the agreement we signed, which is expected shortly, a period of at least 6 months must pass before either party can ask for divorce. If the request is made, the separation becomes final and irrevocable, and the divorce is governed by the terms of the separation agreement. As for your second recommendation, absolutely, taking care of my kids is now my absolute priority, even more than in the past, if that's even possible. It's pretty clear that the dude is in pain and wanted with all his heart to be wrong about his initial thought. He explains it pretty clear on both posts. Not sure, I've been in a pretty similar situation. And when you are in pain like that, it's very hard to think very well what is right and what not. It is a pretty uncomfortable and weird situation to be. You want revenge, but also peace. I don't wish anyone to go through that. Me and my fiance have been in a relationship for 3 years, 4 years coming up in March. He popped the question a few months ago, and I was so excited. I really feel like he is the one for me. He's amazing in so many ways, and I genuinely feel like he feels the same way. Or at least I did. Last night, we ordered takeout for dinner, and we were going to watch the newest Rings of Power episode. He was acting incredibly weird, not very talkative and very fidgety. He usually sits pretty still or relaxed, but he kept bouncing his leg and tapping his fingers. Eventually, about halfway through the episode, he pauses it and says he wants to talk about something extremely important. He sounded so nervous and I immediately got this sinking feeling. But I told him everything was okay just to tell me what was going on. He said it had been on his mind for a while, and he didn't know if it was just the nerves of realizing he's about to be married, but he realized that I'm his first real relationship. Before me, he had only dated a couple people, and it was never long-lasting. I asked him where he was going with this, and he started crying. He said he was scared since he didn't have a lot of experience with other people. He was worried if he was making the right decision. Obviously, that hurts to hear, but I didn't say anything. After dancing around the subject for a bit, he finally just said he was thinking an open relationship would be good for us, at least for a little bit. Honestly, the second half of this conversation is a blur, because my anxiety was so bad I was hardly listening. He said he loved me, and he knows he wants me marry me no matter what, but he wants to see what other people were like before getting into a lifelong marriage. He cried throughout the whole conversation, and he kept reassuring me that I wasn't the problem. He just wanted to experience other people, since he never really was able to. He said if I agreed to an open relationship, there would be lots of rules in place, and it would all be very safe. I feel like our relationship is ruined. I'm obviously not okay with an open relationship. He said I could see other people too, but I don't want to. I only have eyes for him. I only want him. I only love him. He kept saying I have every right to say no, and he would understand, and he would never make me to something I didn't want to do. But the thing is, since he brought this up, if I say no, then I'm constantly going to think he's seeing people anyway. It's already happening. I used to have complete trust in him, but now I can't stop thinking if he's already seeing other people. Maybe he's bringing this up because he cheated on me, and he needs an excuse now. I don't know. My mind is everywhere. I don't know what to do. I told him I would think about it, and he hugged me. He didn't let go for a long time. I slept on the couch last night. I told him I just needed to be alone. Well, the update isn't great. We called off the engagement and broke up. He swears up and down he didn't do anything, but he confessed he brought it up because he had a crush on someone and wanted to try it out. I had been staying at my friend's house for a few days trying to figure out what I wanted to do. A lot of the people in the comments were a huge help to me mentally. I appreciate a lot of you so much. I probably would have gone through with it, but you guys pushed me to ask more questions. I asked him what made him start thinking about it, and at first he went right back to his experience stuff. I told him if he wanted to experiment physically, I would be more than happy to try some things out, and I wasn't going to be accepting that as his answer. After a while, he caved in and admitted that a girl who works at a coffee shop he visits often asked him for his number, and that's when he started to think about it. I was heartbroken and angry to say the least. He had said if we got into an open relationship, people we knew would be off limits. He said she didn't count as someone he knew because he wasn't friends with her and she was still technically a stranger. I told him he did know her. He goes almost every day, and she's very friendly with us. But either way it didn't matter because he had already told me there was no one he had in mind. He lied to me. After some more arguing and crying from both of us, he told me if I didn't want the open relationship, then to just say no, and we could move on from this. He was basically begging me not to talk about it anymore. He just wanted to move on. I told him it wasn't that easy because I straight up do not trust him anymore. As far as I know, he could have already experimented with her. He promised me he never cheated on me and never will. He said he would never go to that coffee place again, and if he saw her he would ignore her. I told him he could see other people, I just wouldn't be in the picture. He got frantic and asked me if I was breaking up with him. I said yes. I told him a year from now or even a couple years from now, after he gets all his experience out of his system, and I'm still single and interested, we can try again. From the beginning, no engagement. I personally don't see us getting back together, but he was crying and clinging on to me. Honestly, I'm disgusted. I'm mostly sad though. Heartbroken, lost, confused, anxious. We had our whole life planned out and ready for us, and it got ruined by a stupid crush he had the nerve to ask to try out because of lack of experience. I know a few people wanted an update. Sorry, it wasn't very happy. This feels like a happy update to me. I know it might not feel like it now, but she deserves better. This post is a good lesson in guarding your heart. When you commit to someone, you commit to putting them first. You guard your relationship. If you begin to have feelings for someone else, you cut off communication with that person immediately. Just shut it down. Then you tell your partner what happened. That's how you protect your relationship. Crushes are natural and uncontrollable. Pursuing, exploring, or continuing to be in contact with a crush is a choice. You have nothing to apologize for. This update is fantastic. You found out you had a pathetic lying disgrace for a fiancé before you were married. You stood up for yourself, you set your boundaries, and refused to back down, and rightfully so. Now, you're going to have fun with your lovely support system. Process this, care for yourself, maybe get yourself back out there to have fun, all while he can crawl back to his little barista now that he doesn't have a safety net. Someone that knowingly goes after taken men, and someone that destroys relationships because of a crush. Let them be pathetic together and wallow in their misery. Doubt it'll last more than 3 months. Don't take him back in a few years though. If he can't stay faithful to you and only you, he's not worth marrying.